Hello and welcome to this week's tarot reading. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and you're enjoying some time off if you are. So this first quarter moon is in Aries and there's a big focus on action, courage and guidance from intention to momentum. Aries energy is bold, direct, instinctive and at times fiery. So the first card we have is the energy or what is igniting us, and that is Mer-Ka-Ba Activation. Transcendence, ascension, you are rising up. So the new moon and winter solstice energy portal we have been in, has had a profound effect on raising your frequency and vibration. The dedication you have been putting into yourself, spiritually, physically and emotionally, has brought you to a powerful time of integration and your wisdom to rise within you. You are strongly connected to spirit right now and your energy is expanding. So really be open to downloads, information and guidance coming through to you now, as this is going to bring through important transmissions for your soul's evolution. Also, it could be helpful to look into the Merkaba and meditate with this star tetrahedron, as this can really open you up to wisdom from the divine. There are some really good videos on YouTube or on Gaia, on sacred geometry if you want to look some of this up. This can be a very powerful meditation for you, so I'd really recommend that. The next card we have is what direction we feel pulled to now, and that is Sage, be devoted and committed. I would say, you are being pulled in the direction of being a guide or teacher, or even a sage or seer. You are devoted to learning more, but this starts with learning about yourself. A lot of people, we do look outside of ourselves to learn everything, and that is helpful, but it's really about realizing and coming back to yourself, as you are your greatest teacher and guide. Your growth and your commitment to your growth is seen by spirit, and you do have the support at each step to co-create the path you do truly desire. This is a time of integration, and taking the time to note down your experiences, it will be really important for you at this time, I would say. So you can share this with others when the time is right later. But I do think there is still more to learn about ourselves. I don't think we're ever done with that. Your insights are going to help others in a profound way. I would say you are already helping all of those around you, just by being you. Your frequency and your vibration does affect your environment, the people around you and stuff. So as you raise your awareness and your frequency, this will rub off onto others. It will bring you the circumstances and resources needed for your journey ahead. So yeah, I think that's really positive. But as you can see, he's writing down. So he's got a peacock feather as well in his hand, and I just realised on the Ace of Discs, the next card, there's loads of peacock feathers. I think this can be the fact that it's green, I think for me relates to heart energy, but obviously the peacock and having like 1,000 eyes being seen, I think that can be, I don't know, something that we should keep note of. You may see peacocks around or symbolism of peacocks at this time. So the next card we have is the challenge, or the tension that could shift and bring growth if we meet this with our awareness. So as I said, we have the Ace of Discs. Here, I would say the challenge is our limiting beliefs or old stories around wealth. The fear of being successful or being seen can really stop us from fully stepping into the role our soul longs for. Wealth is a really high frequency. And some people think, you shouldn't charge for spiritual services. There is a lot of, bad press around that, but we all need to pay the bills. We all need to survive, but not just survive. We deserve to thrive. Some work may need to be done on your association with wealth and putting a limit on what you believe is possible, or, your value. This is calling you to really develop and discover your creative potential. Where is it in your life that you want to grow and expand? It could be your relationships, it could be it could be money, physically money, it could be a better career. Realize you can have a life that is rich in all areas. There are no limits. I really think that when you shift your perspective on wealth to something more expansive, your life will really start to shift towards your dreams. This is a card of like, continual development, knowing that the path is never done. There's always more to learn. We are entering, a new life that will fulfill us. But this is also a card of like grounding our energy down. There is a symbol on the card around the circle that says to meta Ophion, which kind of means initiation or entrance. So I think we're entering something that is quite powerful, especially next year. Next year, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with our, with astrology, and really look into that because I think a lot of planets are going into their new sign. So they'll be at 0 degrees. So I think this is going to have a really big effect. So I think this will ramp up, and then most of the planets will have moved into their new sign by, I believe, some point in April. But there's a lot happening in January and February. So I really think that energy is going to ramp up next year. So the next card we have is the Gardener. And funnily enough, this card was about what needs grounding. And we have the Gardener. I think that was quite good. And our last card was obviously also mentioning about grounding. So the Gardener is a card that relates to Taurus, which is an earth sign. This is pointing to grounding your energy through earthly practices, building your foundation in simple ways, really looking after your body, your environment, the people around you. When we are creating, doing projects or practicing our spiritual things that we enjoy to do, we're learning for our evolution, we can sometimes just be aware of the fairies, in a different realm and not really noticing or taking care of what we need to take care of around us. You can build the life of your dreams, but nothing can be built without the stable foundation that it's needed first. So really look, at everything around you and your priorities now. It may not be as exciting or as fun, but it is really necessary to take care of the certain things in our life. Although they may seem boring, they are necessary, for the growth and the stability of your life moving towards all that abundance and fulfillment that we all long for. The next card we have is what helps us move forward, and that is the Cave. The dark, the portal, the interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as a portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city, while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. So this card, I would say, is guiding you to really go within and see who you truly are at a core level. Nurture and really connect to your heart. We've got quite a lot of green here as well. Break down your walls that have been shielding your heart. I think, many of us find it hard to be vulnerable for fear of being hurt, but we shouldn't hide who we are. We should all express ourselves truly. I would say at this time, meditations and rituals at night time, when it is dark, could really help you connect to your inner fire and knowing. Meet yourself with love and try and move through any fears by facing them. I'd say, when there's resistance towards something, it's usually because there's something there that we're desiring. By doing this and moving through, this will help you move forward. I'd say as well, really pay attention to your dreams at this time. If you do have a journal, maybe keep it by your bed. So when you wake up, you can note down any, key phrases or words that you remember when you wake up. For me, every time I wake up, I always have a song in my head. Sometimes it repeats every day, and then sometimes it's a really random song. But then I'll look at the lyrics of the song and I'll be like, oh, that's strange. And then I'll just write down some of the lyrics, because if I come back to things later, I'll realise that something's actually happened between that dream and now that was kind of prophesized in a way. So yeah, there could be some important guidance coming to you in your dream state as well. The next card we have is what might shift for us, and that is blood. The pulse, physicality, the body. Have no fear of the blood card. It indicates a remembrance of the vital, mammalian nature of our existence. Drop by drop, this sacred elixir reminds us that we are alive, not merely thinking beings, but being beings. When blood is the prima materia in the laboratory, the alchemist uses the physical body as the starting point, building a relationship to the container that houses the spirit. Through the limbs, the organs, the cells, we witness the miracle of life one heartbeat at a time. Eventually, the alchemist naturally partakes in practices that support and nourish blood's life-giving nature. We learn to honor and protect it. In alchemy, red is the color of vitality and radiance. With this card, you've dropped into the vital realm. Sing the body's praises. Oh, I think this is a really good card. So for me, this is saying, obviously, as in the card, it's pointing at using your body. So if you honor and use your body as a tool, you will be able to connect with spirit in an intuitive way, as guidance does really come through the body. When we're using our body, your mind quietens, and we're really getting out of our minds and really using our body. This can be, through exercise, walking, dancing, cleaning, or even you can do this with meditation, and grounding the energy, as we've had come up in a couple of other cards. Grounding your energy down into your body. Your perspective can shift dramatically by being in the present moment. So really noticing the sensations of your body, feeling the energy within you. So I'd say this is a really, really take your time for self-care and nurture, of your whole being. You and your body deserve to be appreciated and nurtured, inside and outside. But sometimes when we're using our body in a physical way, I don't know about anyone else, but if I'm out for a walk or I'm doing an exercise class or something, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just being really present in my body, noticing your breath, all of those things. But you can achieve, if there isn't a lot you can do, if your physical body doesn't allow you to, I think there's even been studies on people that in their mind they're doing something, so they're like doing weights or something in their mind, and they've even affected their body just by using your mind. So your mind can be a powerful tool in using it for meditation and imagining where that energy is going to. I would say, if you can use your body and get physical, try and do that, but if not, do some meditation. The next card we have is the energy to integrate. And for this, we've got calcification. Heat, fire, desire. Calcinatio is the great alchemical operation of fire. It occurs when there is enough heat in the vessel to transform the nature of that which is solid or fixed. How does calcinatio begin? With a tiny glimmer, an urge, a desire that builds into a robust flame. On a psychic level, this stage may be an uprising of emotion that has been repressed or dismissed. It wants something big to change, to be brought to the light and purified. Perhaps a flawed ideology, institution, or outlook. Frustration and anger are wondrous change makers if their heat is channeled with space, time, and awareness. The transformation that occurs from calcinatio is rarely harmonious. It requires commitment and a willingness to sit through discomfort as old patterns fall into the ashes. The flame initiates sacred change, and eventually the phoenix rises. So, in the previous card, it was guiding you to use your body, and obviously that can bring heat. So I would say by doing this is going to help bring awareness, to any emotions or old paradigms that want to be transmuted and integrated into your body. You are devoted and committed to your transformation journey. And, there may have been many tower moments for you already, especially this year. It's been crazy for me. But as our perception, of these changes and shifts occur, I'd say we're becoming more centered and balanced and less reactive to the chaos around us. We are all still going to experience challenges, but, the way that you are responding and shifting your reality, to these changes, you're becoming less reactive. And your perspective through these changes and things, like before you may have reacted in a much more reactive way where you're like, oh, and get angry or whatever. But now I think a lot of us are being a lot more mindful and realizing that things are happening for us, not to us. This really helps us become aligned with our soul's evolution more and more. So I think this is a really good card. We also have an angel number, which is 444, protection, change, rebellion, guidance, justice, truth, character, love. Get ready for the good things you've been hoping for. You were born for a higher calling. Put your energy into going toward your ambitions, and the universe will align itself to provide you with the right people, circumstances, and resources to make things happen. Well, that's positive. So I'm going to read our pocket animal spirit card, and that is lizard. Instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception, as if it has a sixth sense. The lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. So obviously with Christmas, it is a very busy time for a lot of us, so we can run our energy down a lot. I would say though, for at this time with this reading, your spiritual gifts are getting stronger and your intuition is really guiding you towards your ultimate fulfillment. Remember, the signs that we receive can be very subtle, so it is important to take the time, to really listen to your inner knowing. Do some things you love to do and that bring you joy and fulfillment. If you have been overgiving of your energy, which is very normal this time of year, really try and take a break, get some time away for yourself to help you be in balance. As I think next year there is going to be a big shift in momentum. Things are going to really ramp up, especially with all this astrological planet, things that are going to be happening. I think it's really affecting our energy. So take some time to plan and prepare, but also be in the present moment now. I do really think this whole reading is pointing at, seeing how far you've come, making some notes, going within, grounding that energy down. Doing some things that are physical that get you out of your mind, but there are some really good things to come. So just put your energy towards the things you love to do. And I hope you have a good new year, and I shall speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye.